look at this. Let's look at this example. So here we've told that about 32% of students participated in a community volunteer program outside of school. If 30 students are selected at random, find the probability that most 14 of them participate in a community volunteer program outside of school. Use technology to find the answer. We're going to use StatCrunch, but you can also use the calculator, but I'm going to show you with StatCrunch. Okay, so this can be done by hand, and I'll talk about how it can be done by hand, but it's a lot nicer done with StatCrunch. Okay, so we need to identify some things about this binomial distribution. First of all, we see that it's binomial, so success means that a student participate in a community volunteer program outside school. So a student volunteers. All right, and failure is that a student does not volunteer. All right. The probability of success is 0.32, and that comes from the 32%. 30 students are selected at random, so we have n equals 30. This is the number of trials of the experiment. We want to find the probability that at most 14 of them participate in the volunteer program. So we're going to find the probability that x is at most less than or equal to 14. All right? So this actually means that this includes the probability of x is 0 plus the probability of x equals 1 plus all the way to the probability x equals 14. Right? So if we want to calculate this by hand, we need to find these 15 values and then add them up. Now, there is a binomial formula that says the probability that x equals a particular value of x is n choose x, the probability of success to the x power times q, which is the probability of failure, to the n minus x power. So p is probability of success, and q is 1 minus p, which is the probability of failure. All right. So, for example, for n is 0, x is 0 here, to use that formula, I go 30 choose 0, 0.32 to the 0, and q would be 1 minus 0.32, which is 0.68, to the n minus x to the 30. Right? And p of x1 is going to be 30 choose 1, 0.32 to the 1, 0.68 to the 29, dot, dot, dot. So you can calculate all of them with that formula and add them up. Okay? Now, this n choose x is a button on your calculator. Right? So let me get a calculator. So this most scientific calculator. All right. So let me scroll up here. If I go to, there we go. If I go my calculator, all calculators will have this, but it's this NCR. So if I want to do 30 choose 1, then you get 30. If you do 30 choose 5, you get 142,506. Okay? So it's something that your calculator calculates. All right. So we don't want to do all this by hand because it's very tedious and it takes a long time, and we have technology that can do it. Okay, so we're going to do it with StatCrunch. So here are the StatCrunch steps that you need to do this. But I wanted to mention the formula because the book might refer to it. If you go online to check out examples for the binomial distribution, they will probably mention the formula, but we're not going to use it very much in this class. Okay, so we're going to go to StatCrunch. To calculate a binomial probability, you're going to go to Stat and Calculators, and you're going to choose binomial. Right, and it gives you this picture here. Alright, so this is like binomial distribution, but you need to put the correct values. So our n value was 30 because we looked at 30 students. P is the probability of success, which is 0.32. And we want to find the probability that at most 14, so x is less than or equal to 14, we're going to compute. Okay, so this shows me the binomial distribution. So it gives each of the bars gives you the probability that a particular value of x happens. Like, what's the probability that exactly 10 students are participating? That's going to be like about 0.15, right? But what the StatCrunch does, it's adding up the red bars here. It's adding up all the probabilities for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 14, and it's leaving out 15 through 30. All right, so we're happy. All right, so it gave me all the probabilities added up, which is this number. So that's our answer, 0.9695. 4 decimal places is good. So 0.9695, like this. All right, that's it.